Hi, this is Attorney John Cannon. Today we're going to be speaking to the issue of what bail is and how does it work. Bail is basically something that guarantees the presence of someone in court in exchange for them being able to be out and free while their case is pending. In a criminal case, whether it's federal criminal charges or state criminal charges or even military or municipal charges, there's a basis where the court will grant someone the ability to not remain in custody while their case is pending, and that's called bailment, and it's common in almost all jurisdictions in the United States. Federal court, the judge has a ton of discretion in making the decision about whether someone will be released or whether they'll have pretrial detainment or confinement. And the same is true in the military. There's different considerations or different factors that are considered for each jurisdiction. And if you have specific questions, please feel free to put them in the chat or reach out. I'd be happy to answer them. Today we're going to be speaking to the largest group, which is state criminal charges. By far the most number of cases filed each year in Oklahoma or anywhere else are handled in state or district courts across the United States. So I'm going to speak on how bailment works in state courts today. Basically, bailment is, like I said a moment ago, a guarantee that you will appear in court. And it's for two purposes. One, to ensure that the community is safe, and two, to ensure your presence in court. So there's a number of factors that are considered in making these decisions. First and foremost is the community's safety. So charges of violence, charges of assault, those have a lower likelihood of being granted bail. And if bail is granted, it's set at a much higher level to show the importance of protecting the community and ensuring that person does not commit an act of violence. The issue of ensuring someone appears at court is a secondary issue, and that consideration has a number of things that are looked into. One is the ties to the community. Two is the family connections to the community. Three is the amount of time that someone's been in the community. Another factors are considered is someone have an employment. Do they have substantial ties to the area that are going to give them cause to remain? Alternatively, is it someone that has substantial ties elsewhere, either in another state or even outside of the country? So these are factors that the court will look at to see whether someone has a flight risk or risk that they will not stay or return for their court dates. So it's important that the court keeps in mind this analysis when deciding if someone will be granted a bail and what amount. Another thing that we do in many of our cases that's allowed in Oklahoma state courts is to request what's called a conditional bond. And what conditional bond means is if you follow A, B, C condition, then the court will grant you a bail or grant you a release based on that. Some of those conditions can include house arrest in some serious situations, condition of random drug testing or regular drug testing, continued employment, continued contact with your conditional probation officer. And really at this time, especially in the pandemic, when the risk of infection and other things are so high, the courts are trying to do everything in their power to stop people from being confined in large numbers. Oklahoma County, for instance, has the lowest incarceration rate that the county has had in decades, and that's really to try and address the issues of safety for the inmate population and the employees of the Sheriff's Department. So again, the factors that are considered are the safety of the community by the person being out of custody, and two, flight risk or likelihood that the person will return for court. If you have any questions, please feel free to add them in the chat below. Feel free to reach out to our office. And as always, please feel free to visit our page or follow us here on YouTube. Thanks. Have a great one.